Hey guys, Nick here from Velocity Trading, and in this video I'm going to be recapping today's trading day. And man, what a day we had in the small cap market. It's been a while, guys, since we had a big time squeezer on our hands, and BLPH delivered today, and we absolutely killed it today in the room. For myself, making $9,000 this morning on BLPH, and I wish I had the video. I wish I recorded my screen today, but I forgot to hit the record button this morning, guys. So unfortunately, I don't have the live trade recap here on BLPH, but I'm gonna dive into it and go over my two trades on it, because I did have two trades this morning on BLPH. I did have a pre-market long, and then I got long on my playbook pattern today on BLPH. So let's dive into it here. So BLPH, guys, what do we have here? What do we have here? We had a micro float stock. We had a 2 million of float stock here over on BLPH. You guys can see here. Let me drag over statistics. So you see here we had a 2 million of float stock here on BLPH. We had 40% held by institutions, and that is that magic number that we do like. We like to see above 30% on institutional ownership, and BLPH did meet that mark. And we did have SSR on, so we had short sell restriction, which is a huge plus when you're looking for stock to long. Anything with SSR is gonna be tricky, right? Be tricky for some short sells, and definitely help out us long traders. And also we did have a good catalyst here on BLPH. We did have top of the line data phase 2 here on BLPH. So we had a good catalyst. We had a low flow stock here, high institutional ownership name. Short sell restriction on. So we have all of these factors that we like to see when we look for a long. This nearly met all my criteria, guys, on my checklist. Each morning I have a morning checklist I look for, and BLPH, almost nailed all of them, right? And now what are we looking for? We see it time and time again when we have stocks that meet a lot of criteria, but what's the most important thing, right? Volume, chart, and price action. Three most important things you like to look for, and I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that on BLPH here. So I saw it gapping up here, doing my research on it. I liked it, but waiting for some more confirmation, right? And I did start in here on BLPH. I saw this high volume break of VWAP here, so starting in a little early here on BLPH, but I did like this volume candle here, this high volume break of VWAP. And I like the risk reward, getting in here a little early, right? Just diving in, putting in some size. You actually got a partial fill on that one there on BLPH right there. You can see we consolidated here, broke on out. Was actually adding a little bit here, so it was getting in here right around this 490 area. Then getting in here also right around this 510, 515 area on BLPH. So putting some more size on. Wasn't anything crazy though. Wasn't anything crazy here. I think I had around 2,000 shares there on BLPH. Still very very thin here, very light this pre-market, not super liquid at this time. You can see we're struggling around six, but still holding trend, right? Trend still holding, so not extremely worried here, right? Trend still holding. And you can see we got that nice breakout, right into that, right into the market open here. And I was scaling some out here, 620s. And then I was saying, I do expect some newsletters to hit this out of the open. So once those newsletters were hitting it, I was scaling out here, anticipating that once they sell, trend's going to change and it's going to come back on down. And that's what we got here. So newsletters hit it out of the gates, crack below VWAP, selling into this pop here. And now you can see putting in some lower highs, and at this time, tape looked absolutely dead. Price action was not here over on BLPH at this time. The tape looked really heavy and it looked dead, right? And that's what they want you to make it think, right? We're just going over the AGTC example where they make it look dead, but they still hold that backside line, right? They're still holding that backside line, and that's what happened here, right? 550 held and was never out of play. We were going over, we were watching, and we're like, guys, this looks dead here. Let's wait for some, more confirmation. Let's wait for, the trend to, change, and then we could go look and attack. And we were patient, right? We weren't trying to time the bottom. We weren't being, super aggressive. We were, being smart traders, waiting for confirmation. And this is where we really started to get it here. We're still a little early here, But yeah, I was getting in a little early. Like I said, I really liked it, right? I really liked BLPH, liked all the criteria, liked the statistics behind it. So I was willing to start in early, right? I was willing to start in a little early. Once I started seeing some things, and right here, the tape sped up, and we had a bidder, right? Caught a bid. I was seeing the bid, but wasn't really, wasn't really absorbing, wasn't really soaking. This is when I really, saw the bid, and the tape started to speed up a little bit. And you can see we started absorbing on these dips, right? Holding on these dips, absorbing on these dips, putting in, a base here. And this is where I looked to add. So I was getting in here right around 560 on this candle right here as we sped up, with bids. Then we started, supporting on each dip here. So I was loading some more here on BLPH. Kind of anticipating, right? I was anticipating this. We like to, wait for confirmation. Confirmation was, right around the 620. This would have been, confirmation entry. I could have looked to add, but, I was happy with the size I had on here over on BLPH. But this is, where, this wash trap and squeeze part are really, pattern really confirmed. Right around this 620, right on this pullback here. This was a, good area to, enter the trade, versus $6, right? Versus $6 would have been a good area here. Personally, myself, was getting in here, 580s, 590s, risking 570. That was my trade idea on it. I saw some traders getting in around here, 620 versus 6. Perfectly fine. Totally see that, right? That would have been, more safer entry. We go over this. Sometimes it's better to buy higher. Giving you that extra edge, that extra confirmation towards it. And you could see what happened here. We consolidated, held on these pullbacks, and got a nice ramp on up here over on BLPH. You could see we spiked over $7 here and squeezed into a circuit breaker halt on BLPH, and it was exciting, guys. It was exciting. Been a while since we had one of these names. I love seeing them. This is where I have, this is where my big money, comes from. These type of trades, and we don't see them, every single day, but I'd say we find a couple of these a month, maybe 2, 3, 4 of these a month, and like I said, it only takes one trade. I've been, nailing, kind of these base hits, these signals recently, 500 to, maybe $2,000 a day. Still keeping my losses small, right? Not having, big red days, very important. And, I knew one of these days were going to come around, right? Just patient for it, wasn't forcing it. Did have, maybe 1 or 2 days where I forced it and it bit me in the butt, right? Had a couple of days where I was up, 3-4 grand on a trade and, wanted higher, wanted those bigger targets. Bit me in the butt, right? But for example, here on BLPH, it's really, pick and choosing, right? Pick and choosing, knowing when that opportunity comes, knowing which plays, maybe hold out versus, maybe take profits quickly, and knowing the overall market conditions, right? Knowing the market conditions, knowing the market you're in, that really takes into account of, which plays, I might look to, maybe look for, second and third targets. And BLPH kind of recognized that this one does have big potential, right? A low float stock, thin name, high institutional ownership, SSR. So all these things, factor into, my thesis of, where am I going to look to, where am I going to look to sell, right? Am I going to look to, take all, at 620, 630 here, or am I going to look to, look for a bigger picture idea? And, BLPH, I kind of determined early on in this one that, hey, Nick, this one has big potential. This was, worth maybe keeping you 1/2 over versus, taking all at your first target. And that'll come in time, guys. It's, something that, I struggle with, early on, when to hold, when to sell, and, take first profits on this ticker versus, another ticker, and it'll come in time, and you'll recognize those A+++ setups. BLPH was one of those, and that was for me that confirmation to say, hey Nick, you should look to hold this one out a little longer. If it sets up how you want it to, look to hold this one a little longer, Nick. It has that that supernova potential. So we got that here on BLPH, and like I said, was selling after the unhold here. Did get a little bit of a bad fill. Did mark it out. I was going over today why shouldn't really use market orders for pretty much this example. Ended up getting out like 745 on this low of this candle here when the bid was at 770, 780. But overall, that pre-market trade combined with this one, total of $9 grand on the day. on BLPH, and you can see, went even higher, right? Still base, held trend, never cracked, never even came back close to VWAP, and just, riding the 72.89 EMA all day. Ripped over $10 here. Hit a high of 12. You can see still holding around here, right? I'm sure that that downside halt definitely trapped a lot of traders, right? I'm sure a lot of shorts thinking that this was the end here after this downside halt, the exit, but it looks like they're still here, right? Supporting that $9 mark, still holding here. So we'll see. Coming up to this last hour of the day, we'll see what happens here over on BLPH. Yeah, what else more could I say? I mean, if I know some traders did miss this, what I would say to you traders is, hey, don't worry about it, right? There's gonna be more opportunity. Study for it, learn from it. When you guys ask me, hey Nick, what does an A plus setup look like for you? I refer back to the BPLH trade. I'll be like, guys, this is an A plus setup for me. Study this. The next one comes around, we'll be ready for it, right? Study the criteria, study the volume, study the chart, study the tape on it, and we'll be ready for the next one. And yeah, that's really it on this BLPH trade. I mean, we'll see how high this thing could go. Looks like we may have a day 2 in store for us here. We'll see it tomorrow if we gap down or you get a gap up here on BLPH. Definitely interesting here. I think this name is gonna be around for a few more days on BLPH. All right, let's just want to go over one more ticket. Just want to go over GMPX. Not gonna say too much about it. I mean, this name, this was my other trade of the day on GMPX. Was a break-even trade on it. Got short around here. 460. Kind of my idea was in the room was shorting the prior day. Levels. You can see we had a lot of volume traded right around this 440 to 460 area, 470 area. So seeing it, get that little morning pop. Shorted this 460. Kind of risking this this top right here, this 470, 475 mark over under, and it was working pretty nicely. But you can see it caught a bid, right? This name has been super strong, super aggressive, very manipulative stock, and it caught a bid here. They supported it, ripped it back up, and I got stopped out there around 470. So lost about a couple cents on it, 5-6 cents on it. It was a break-even trade, right? And you can see here, kind of held this, held VWAP overall. Got a higher low and ripped up here on some strong volume there, causing a lot of headaches for shorts. This one's very manipulative, and I said, after seeing this, I'm like, I'm not gonna trade this one, right? I'm gonna, if anything, wait for trend to reverse, wait for backside, wait for $3 to break down, then join trend on it, right? I'm not gonna, fight this thing, anymore here on GMPX, right? I mean, it's just super manipulative, super trappy, right? Looks dead, not conforming to the chart well. You can see this, looks dead, gets bought right back up, looks dead, gets bought right back up, looks dead, gets bought right back up there on GMPX. Just a very tricky stock, manipulative stock. Best thing to do is wait for the biz to be gone, right? Wait for the biz to be gone. And once they stop supporting it, you get that rug pull. You see the weakness, then attack it, right? Then attack it. But right now, it's still strong. They're still here. Wait for $3 to crack, then join it back down, right? That's what I'll be waiting for in GMPX. So we'll set a price alert, if it ever cracks down below that $3 mark. That's it. Just wanted to go over, the BLPH trade and quickly go over GMPX. Looking forward for the rest of February. It's been pretty slow. First real big squeezer name we had was today on BLPH. Hopefully we have some more sympathies to come, and we'll see if there's anything left in store for BLPH. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few more days out of it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this recap. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the room tomorrow. If you guys haven't, check us out. Links in the description. Try out a 7-day free trial. I'm out. Peace.